I bought a couple that I regret, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, me too. I
I
spent
don't.
10 grand. I'm one of the rich dad, poor dads when before I got into the business. It was the first thing, first thing I did. So,
Yeah.
and that was the best 10 grand I ever spent because I'm still pissed off about it. I don't even think I paid that credit card anymore.
There you go.
Business write-off.
I just got a text message. I got a hot lead.
There you go.
Boy, talk about it. I don't know. I'll call after the meeting. All right, any other questions? Let's see. Let's get some more questions. Just to tell you real quick. So I squatted up with another guy I always squat up with. He brings me all his Detroit deals, and it's in Morningside. If you know Detroit, you know the East English Village, then Morningside's the next neighborhood. And everyone loves it. This house is beat up, it's a 2-family, brick, needs everything. Everything. And I'm asking 33,000 for it. And one of my guys that buys Morningside. So we got the deal yesterday. Last night, I was here to like 1 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, I text him, said I got a property in Morningside, sent him a few pictures and told him I want 33. He's like, 33,000, oh my goodness, whatever. I said, I'm showing it at 11 o'clock. You're more than welcome to come. And then I sent it to like 5 other guys. They all said they'll be there. And then he calls me, the first guy calls me back and says, look, and what are you gonna have what is this? What did he call it?
A bus tour.
Pretty much, yeah, something like that. I can't remember the word he said. And I said, what are you talking about? He thought he wanted to, because I know the guy, he wanted to come to the appointment and negotiate down. I said, listen, that's why I sent you the pictures. If you don't want to pay 33,000, if it's not worth it to you, I'm not mad at you. Don't be mad at me for pricing it at 33. And then he's talking about wholesalers. They're not up front. The seller should get more money. I said, listen, if you need to go find your own deals, Anyways, he showed up. He was the first one there. I sold it for 33,000 today, and
To him?
no, heck no. No, to his buddy.
All right, that's even better.
Because what happened is I told him about it, and I know his buddy. Then I texted to his buddy, and then his buddy told him about it, and then he called me and said, what are you gonna send everyone over there at once? And this and that. Why are you sending it? I'm a buyer. So remember, these buyers are always gonna negotiate with you, 90% of them. So what I do is I add 10% on top of what I really want. Sometimes I add a little more. Sometimes I might just say, this is what I want, forget it, because I know 20 people that will buy it at that price. So you just, they got to feel like they're getting a deal, and they do count your money. So you got to, that's why I don't show them in our assignment agreement's different. We don't show them what we're making until closing, and because it's none of their business. I said, look, if I get it for $1 and I sell it for 30, it shouldn't matter to you either way. If the numbers works, the numbers work. So anyway, keep that in mind.
One thing just to add on to that, because that happens to me all the time. Buyers love to go by themselves. I don't usually do bidding. I never do bidding wars ever, actually. And buyers will try to say, oh, I don't do bidding wars. I don't want to be there with other people. But if you just bring them there by themselves, and they might even just offer 1,500 less than your asking price. You really don't have any room you don't want to turn that down, because that's your only offer. That's the only person who saw it. But you also know he can pay full price if he can pay 1,500 under. But he was the only person there. So just by having another person there, then they know that, okay, they either want the deal or they don't. They have that sense of urgency. So doing like group showings is a really good idea. One time I had two buyers show up at one of my houses once together, and they both know each other. They're friends. But the one guy immediately texted me and said he wanted it. And then the other guy immediately called me and said he wanted it right after. But I said, hey, look, this other guy already said he wanted it. And he was like, well, if I give you 5,000 more than what this guy paid, will you take my offer? And I was like, no, like this deal's already sold. And the guy who said he would have offered 5,000 more, like he literally always offers 10, 15 grand under asking. Always. He started out, he's like, would you take 50 for it? And I'm like, no, like I have another guy going over there. Would you take 55? He ended up offering 75 for it after I took this other guy's offer. But that's just how they work. So just by having another guy over there, especially if they know each other, like Todd knows that's a good thing if they know each other. Yep. Because they know what the other person's thinking. They know it's a good deal. So just don't let them beat you up like that, because I've done. And then also, you know, you might show one buyer the house, and then now you're waiting for them to get back to you for 2 days, and they keep putting it off, and you're expecting them to buy it. They lowball you, and now you're in a position where you need to close in a week.
Yeah.
So you don't want to hold off on saying yes, because what if the other guy you bring through doesn't want it? So, and I struggle with this all the time. Like I do this, I need to practice what I preach, because sometimes I put myself in this situation. So it's good to just immediately blast it out. Don't treat any buyer special, especially from the get-go, because then they'll expect that on future deals. So it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
You know, Carson, I think what Todd does quite a bit, and it really proves to be effective, is giving them a time limit as well. So you throw it out to your buyers and say, hey, you know, best offer at, you know, by this time is going to get the deal.
You got a 24. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And one thing
I'm sorry, really, what's that?
Yeah, I was gonna say really quick. When you say best offer due by 5 o'clock, don't say you'll let everyone know by 5 o'clock. Because if you just say best offer due by 5 o'clock, I'll let you know pretty soon after, or by, you know, sometime around this weekend. Because then if you only get one offer and it's a terrible offer, you can't let everyone know. Like you can still kind of play it off. But yeah, that's great, Mike. I've done that on a few, and it works out. So what were you gonna say, Todd?
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't even know. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say is that was perfect what you did. When you tell someone they got the deal, I don't care if they gave you an EMD, they didn't sign a contract yet, but if you say I'm gonna sell it to you, you gotta sell it to that guy.
Yeah.
You cannot you're gonna ruin your reputation. And if that guy backs out or tries to renegotiate it, forget him. Remember that, you know, go back and sell it out from under them. Just don't let people, you know, you got to be upfront and straight and say, you know, whatever you know, your word is your word, and so do they. You know, I could care less if I get an EMD, you know, until you screw me over, right? And you know, you got to do what you say. So that's really really important. So,
and that buyer that bought that deal, not the guy who offered 5,000 more, I closed on a deal with him like a week ago, and he was the only guy who would have bought this deal. So if I would have burnt that bridge with him, then I would probably want to sold this deal. So, and I've sold like 3 more since then. I sold the one that me and Mike, we each made like 15 grand on. Like, so yeah, I mean, a lot. I've had this happen with new wholesalers. Like I had a new wholesaler, I was trying to buy a deal from him, and I knew the area because I undersold the deal right down the road. Like I had like 5 people on it instantly, and I took the first offer, and it was worth way more. But he had this deal, he wanted like 18 or something for it. I offered him, I don't know, it was like 15 or 16. And he said, sure, you'll take it. And then he called, and then he sends me a text and he goes, oh, someone's coming out to look at it. They want to pay 22 for it. And I'm like, I understand that feeling because that happened to me on my first deal. But I called him, I was like, dude, this is not how you do business. Like you told me I could have it. I looked at it. I ran my numbers. I committed to buy it at that price. If the market would have tanked tomorrow, I still would have bought it because I committed to buying it. You have to commit to sell it at that price. And so I ended up talking him into, I think I had to give an extra like $2,000, which it pissed me off, but that's just like Todd said, you just don't want to burn those bridges, because that $5,000 I might have made extra if that other guy would have bought it, would have cost me well over like 30,000 already just in the past 5 months. So it's definitely a good way to do business.
The thing is, you're going to remember that in the future when you're doing future deals. So you're going to remember that he went out and tried to get that. So you're not going to be jumping to him to get deals, or trying to get him to buy your deals or whatever it may be, because he may be shady like that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm gonna treat him differently, because there's just too many moving parts, and I've got too much going on to deal with somebody who they say I have a deal. I might go sell it to another buyer right after they say that, and then they try to renegotiate. It's like I just can't deal with that.
Yep, for sure. Yep.
Trish, any suggestions on building your own buyers list starting off? Really, starting off, if you haven't done a deal, you want to mainly focus on sellers, because the buyers will come. If you have a good deal, the buyers will come. I have a Facebook group. There's the Genesee County Facebook group. Todd has a Facebook group in Detroit. Like, those Facebook groups have tons of buyers in them. So if you have a really good deal, Todd will buy it, I'll buy it, somebody else in the group will buy it, somebody in this group will buy it. But find the deal first, and then you can find more targeted buyers too. Like, I found a deal in the deal that me and Matt did in Trenton. I found that buyer after finding that deal, because I started targeting Trenton buyers, and this guy was like a known Trenton buyer. So it just helps to have the deal ahead of time, and then find the buyer from there. But if in the meantime, like, networking is how I did it. I did a ton of networking. I met a ton of buyers. Other than that, you can pull cash sales in areas, but I just swear by networking for everything. Like, I have realtors sell my deals all the time that I've networked with, and it's like, I would rather have 10 realtors that each have 10 buyers than 10 buyers. So I just swear by networking.
Also, hey Carson, also, you could just follow these Facebook groups. When other people post a deal, if I post a deal, I might have 10 people that say, send it to me. I sent you a DM, do this, do that. And you could reach out to those people, they're buyers, and then you could talk to them, say, look, can I add you to my buyers list? And there's probably 20 different Facebook groups in the Detroit area, including Genesee County. So that is a good way of doing it also. Cool.
So I want to say a big thank you to Michael Heater. When we were on at your place, Todd, on Saturday, doing the boiler room.
Yeah.
I worked with him. He actually I showed him my cold caller, a recording, and he kind of walked me through a little bit of that, helped me guide that. And he shared with me a little bit of his, of his script. And so I took a piece of his script, and then added it to mine this week. And then I had a training session with my cold caller to kind of go over exactly what I wanted, because it looked long, but it was more responses and things like that, and a lot of stuff she could skip over. And it actually helped me with the past couple of days. It's helped a lot. So she's getting used to it. The more she's getting used to it, the better she's becoming at realizing, like, okay, these are the hot deals, these are cold deals, and then I can kind of act accordingly and kind of jump on it real fast, so big props and big thank you to you, Michael Heater, for that. So
for sure, Randy, I appreciate you putting into action and allowing me to help you out. Yeah, I'm thinking I'd drop it. Should I drop it in the chat for everyone else, guys? Because that's some straight juice if you're trying to elevate your cold call script. And if you're like me, guys, like if you have VAs and you're tired of getting, like, because that was my issue, and I was telling Randy, is like, I have 4 VAs, right? And I would come in some mornings, I have like 10 leads on my system. I'm like, dang, cool. But then I quickly started to realize, like, okay, these leads are not qualified leads. You know what I'm saying? And so I just got sick and tired of wasting my time going through unqualified leads. So I was thankfully blessed enough by a gentleman who joined the Steve Trang acquisition course, and he actually gave me Steve Trang's seller cold call script. And Steve Trang's like his main focus is like, how quickly can you dequalify someone, right? Because we are literally focusing on like the 5% of people. 95% of everyone we talk to is not going to be a deal. So the quicker you can get to that 95% to get to that 5%, like that's his big thing. So and it's definitely helped my cold callers, and it sounds like it's helped yours, Randy, as well. And I use it daily now as well. So I will find the file since we're talking about it and drop it in the chat for everyone else.
Hey, Michael, maybe next week's episode, we could kind of do our show on it,
Yeah, totally. I want to do some seller calls. I think we should
Yeah.
start implementing that once a month.
Yeah,
We start a little bit early.
we could do that next week. Want to do seller calls next week?
Yeah, totally. We could do that.
Okay.
I won't be here next week actually. So
All right, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So because I definitely want to be there for that. But yeah, guys, let me see if I can find this, and then you guys can implement it, and then maybe report back and see what you guys think.
Yeah, I took mainly the beginning piece is like, trying to figure out, hey, explain exactly what we do, and then this probably doesn't apply to you, and some of the reactions there, and that kind of helped a lot,
That paragraph alone is
That's gold.
That's basically what I use. Like I said, I just implement it on a daily basis, and that's pretty much what I just put into my cold caller script.
Yeah.
And we're just quickly getting through those people that aren't qualified leads, so we can focus on the more qualified ones. So
and so the thing is that with that, we still get the other leads that say, okay, we still kind of want to still, if they still push through and say they want an offer, we still get those, but we still keep them as cold leads versus warm or hot leads. So therefore I can kind of push them to the end of my follow-ups, after I got through all the hot leads, so yeah.
Is it kind of like reverse psychology? Like, this probably doesn't apply to you, but we
Yes.
provide discounted
Basically.
offers. You probably aren't interested
Yeah.
in the lowball offer. kind of a
basically
thing.
that. He
Yeah.
uses a lot of that language and about like pulling away. He uses a lot of that. Like you said, kind of like reverse psychology. But yeah, I just dropped the cold caller script in the chat. So you guys can check it out and take what you want from it and piece it into your script. And you guys can let me know what you think. But Steve Trang is super legit, so any of his content I knew was gonna be good. It certainly is. So
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
Mike with the plugs today, man.
Dude, I'm that low key plug out here, guys. Low key as hell.
Try that skip tracing though. I mean, seriously, I've always preached batch, but he does the cold calling and he's saying this is just as good as batch, and that saves you a lot of money.
No,
Like,
it's better than batch, he says.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely on par. You know what I'm saying? And if you can get more numbers than batch, like batch gives you a lot of numbers, but I literally get like 10 numbers for some files, and what I've started to notice now that I send RVMs in particular is I'm getting leads from people from wrong numbers. You know what I'm saying? So,
my first deal was from an RVM,
right.
and I RVM'd the owner's wife.
Right.
And they were separated. How am I supposed to know that? And she owned her own house, and I ended up wholesaling her house. And then she gave me her phone number, her husband's actual phone number, and I called him and wholesaled his house. That was my second deal. So, and then Jacob Blank, he's like a 19, 20-year-old influencer. He makes over 7 million calls a month with his VAs. and he pulls lists of people. He says he doesn't even put because you can't pull 7 million tax delinquents in Flint, Michigan. Like there's 50,000 houses or whatever. But he pulls lists of people with 5+ years of residency in a state. So anyone who's lived in this area for 5+ years. And he's like, I don't care if you own a house. I just want to talk to you and see if maybe you know someone who owns a house. So that's kind of crazy. You know, starting out, that costs a lot of money. Like he's spending easily 20 grand a month in just all that crap that goes into that. But starting out, if you can do more specified lists, do it. But when you have those specified lists, why not get an extra 10 numbers for no extra cost, if not 5 cents less per lead if you go with this skip tracing company. So that's pretty dope. Like you said, you see a lot of people, VAs on Facebook, get skip tracing for 5 cents a lead or whatever. But this is coming from someone who does it like every single day. So if I ever skip trace, I'm gonna go through it 100%.
Yep.
Good stuff, man.
Something I want to add, Mike, because you told me this and I forgot to tell you. In the script at the end, when you talk to somebody and they have 0 interest in selling their property, asking that, well, hey, do you have any other properties you might be looking to sell that need a little bit of work, or however you want to word that. I called somebody a couple days ago, and it's the deals Carson was talking about on a 3-pack there, I guess the guy has. I called him about property. It was vacant land. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's vacant land. I'm like, shoot. I'm like, well, do you have any other properties you're looking to sell? And he's like, oh, well, yeah, I do. And I didn't know you were interested in that. I thought maybe you were just like guy looking to develop or whatever on land. I'm like, well, I'm actually looking for houses to work, blah, blah, blah. And it's leading into potentially maybe, put them on a contract just by asking that last little hook. I mean, what does it hurt? You already have them on the phone.
Yeah. It's like you've spent the money to get the data and to get skip trace. Like, you need to be squeezing everything you absolutely can out of any lead in your CRM.
It's like that last little sentence, and it's like, it's so quick, and it's like, it could give you a deal.
Right. And training your VAs to do the same thing, super invaluable. So,
Yep.
And that's gold. Like what I was doing with some of these leads that weren't very qualified, I would turn it back on them and be like, well, I mean, it looks like you just redid this house. You just renovated this house. Looks like you're probably going to want retail. Yeah. I go, well, unfortunately, right now, what we look at is, stuff that needs a little bit more work. Do you by any chance have anything like that, that you might be willing to let go? Something like that. And that's taking a cold lead, basically, that you're not going to get. Something that's retail price that they want to, hey, well, I got this one that's just been sitting here for us to work on, I might let that one go because I want to go on this next one, so.
Another question
I did
to ask Randy.
I did get through that.
I was just going to say, like, when you're talking to people like that want retail, ask that. And then if they don't have another house, ask them if if they're interested in listing with a realtor. I don't know if you do that already or not, but I get realtor referrals. That's part of the reason I want to get my license, because you can't legally get referrals without being licensed. But I've gotten referrals. I've cold called people and sent them to a realtor. And then that same realtor ended up sending me a wholesale deal. We made the exact same amount of money, his commission to my wholesale. So we just called it even. And it was just like a free lead. So if you can do that once a month, like you can make 30 grand a year just off realtor referrals.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
hey, I think we're winding down here. Any last questions, comments, concerns?
Last question of the day. Who's got it?
Points? So it was a good one for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for everyone's participation, and we'll see you maybe tomorrow at Winnie Patton's, right?
Yeah, guys. Don't Carson Whaley dropped the link in the chat. You guys can go get a free pass. So take advantage of that.
Oh, I missed it. Let me check it out.
I'll repost it.
Thanks.
There you go.
So go to that link if you want to sign up. Definitely worth going.
Cool.
Didn't they move it? It's like not at the MSU center anymore. It's at some other
I
facility.
think that's
or-
Clarkston Road. Yeah,
What's that?
it's on Clarkston Road, 3676. So yeah, I think they moved it.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so that's even worse.
Is it in Clarkson? It's in Troy, right?
In Troy, right?
Oh, I'm looking at Michigan Real Estate Investors 367. I clicked on that link. I don't know.
Yeah, it used to, it
This-
used to
this
be
does-
in
It's gonna be
Troy.
at the San Marino Club.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
655 East Big Beaver Road in Troy.
All right, cool.
Oh, okay, so that's just further east than the MSU thing. Okay.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Hope to see you guys
All right,
tomorrow.
thanks, man.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
guys.
All
Bye.
right. Thanks, you guys.
See you
Yeah,
tomorrow, Mary.
Everyone take care. Have a great rest of your week. See you next one. Peace.
Peace. Kevin Brooks, where the hell you been?
I knew you was gonna say something.
What's up?
What's up, bro? Did you get my my emails?
Yep.
All right, cool. Just tapping in, man. I missed some juice earlier, bro. What was that you was saying about the reason why you're about to retire MailChimp?
I'm using my CRM.
Okay. I ain't know what you said. That's when I got in when you were talking about that.
Where you been?
Working from home, bro. I'm still doing it. I'm on here all day.
You
Every
sleeping?
day. Nah, man, I'm working, bro. Leads coming through the pipeline.
Sweet.
It's just I'm coming next week. It's just this car situation, bro. Too much gas. You know, I live far from you.
Sweet. All right. I
All
gotta go. Someone's at the door.
right, for sure. Talk to you tomorrow. Yep.
Peace.
All right, later, Todd.
See you, Donovan.